Hey guys, Kyle Cordiana here. This is going to be my FLW tour recap for the tour event on Grand Lake, Oklahoma. We had that event just a few days ago in March of 2019, late March. This is a lake I was looking forward to fishing. This is my first FLW tour event in Oklahoma, so I had what they call a home court advantage. I knew the lake better than I knew any of the other lakes we've ever gone to, so I kind of had that curse. Is it going to haunt me? Is it going to be good for me? Went out, you saw the practice footage. I had Dad with me on day one. Day two, I took out Jody White, FLW, and he jinxed me right there. He wrote something about making it look as easy as pie, which is that's the exact opposite of how this event was. Grand Lake was fishing extremely tough, and it does this every year, this time of year when those fish get in transition, but this year was maybe even a little more difficult to find the fish because of the severe cold weather we had leading into this. Normally by now these fish are further along. FLW did a really good job of picking the right week, I think. It's just Mother Nature didn't cooperate. She was really cold. There was a big shad kill. We had a lot of rain. We had muddy water to contend with. And to top all that off, we had water just dropping like crazy. And that's the key for me. That's really what happened that caused me to have a pretty bad tournament this event. The water dropped foot and a half over just a few days. My fish were sitting in really shallow water. I was getting a lot of bites on a jig, shaking them off. Had a lot of confidence to do well here, but that lake dropped so fast, those fish pulled back out and they suspended somewhere, either where they wouldn't bite or I just couldn't relocate them. I tried really hard, but I do want to show you some tricks, guys, to try in Grand Lake, because I promise I know how to catch them there. Just have not been good at showing that lately. The go-to thing for me pre-spawn this time of year, the first thing I'm going to pick up is a jig. This is a bionic jig. I love throwing this little 3/8 ounce jig. Bradley Holman likes calling it a little brown jig. And it's pretty brown. This might be called a little green jig. It's got just a lot of dark greens in it. Real big. I think it choked that bionic jig, boys. That's a big one. I like to typically tip my jigs with a hammer craw, but one of the tricks that I have that I like to use when it's really cold outside or the water's cold or the fish seem to be sluggish is I want a slower rate of fall. So I've got the light jig, I got a 3/8 ounce jig, but I can tip it with a heavier bait, something with a little more flotation to it. So instead of doing a hammer craw in here, I've actually got a Jean LaRue rattling craw in here. And I'm going to show you a little trick. As far as making a fish bite your bait and hang on to it a little better. So what's cool about a biffle bug and a rattling craw, right, is this little hollow, it's got a hollow body to it. But what's tricky about it is when you slide it up on the shank of the hook, a lot of times you got to use some super glue to keep it up there, but you don't have much room to put your hook on. So you got to get that little piece, the little thin piece right here, get your hook in it, and you can see this is hanging on. I've got it in this thin piece, and I'm gonna take it off so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So you can see it's hung on there really good. I'm gonna pop it off. And what I'm doing is this is the end of the bait, and you can see where my jig was. You can see where I've got it ripped now. So you've just got a little room for air there that you wanna put that hook in the top of that and hook it. And then when it's on the bait, right, it's rigged up on the bait like that, you've got this hollow spot. What you can do this hollow spot is you can take your Jean LaRue bug juice and you can pour it in there and it won't come out. And so you've got this delicious looking bait that's got some flavor to it, and you've got this little pocket, this little reservoir that'll hold on to your favorite bait attractant. I like the biffle bug juice. So anyway, that's a little trick I like to do. When the fish aren't hitting it real hard and they're not hitting it real aggressive, this will make them hang on to the bait longer. It'll give you the angler just a little bit longer to sense the bite, set the hook, and catch that fish. So that's the trick I want to show you. Guys, I was just taking this and I was just throwing it anywhere and everywhere. I'm skipping it under cables, I'm throwing it at laydowns, I'm throwing it at rocks, I'm hitting flats with it, I'm hitting steep banks with it. This time of year, fish are everywhere, and you just have to figure out where they're wanting to set up, and every day is different. I can give you every waypoint I have on Grand Lake, and they may not be worth a hoot one day and great the next, or half and half, and then the next they flip. So keep that in mind. Always fish open-minded. Other bait that did a lot of work for me, I guess if you guys want to know what I'm throwing that on, it's a Kistler. It is this is a 7-foot medium heavy Kistler Z-bone. I was throwing it on 17-pound fluorocarbon with an Ardent Apex Elite. That is one of my favorite setups, just a 7-foot medium heavy. Put your head down, go to work. It's the perfect action for making accurate casts and still getting a good hook set. This here is a Helium 7.4, Kistler Helium 3, 7'4" medium heavy. I had 17 or 20 pound fluorocarbon on this, and this is a bait that I had made by Bionic. So Bionic makes my jigs, Bionic makes my spinner baits, and make my bladed jigs, my top waters, my buzz baits I mean. And I had them paint me a chartreuse kicker blade on there, a Colorado chartreuse kicker blade. I've got a willow leaf, just a shiny chrome willow leaf, and I've got this nice kind of sexy shad blue chartreuse white skirt. So go check out Bionic Fishing. This is a 3/4 ounce. I have a bunch of these in 3/4 and ½ ounce. I also have some that have all chartreuse blades for that really stained water if I really want to get some attention. Again, you got to throw this on Grand Lake. You got to throw it in front of docks. You got to throw it at laydowns and just roll it over the laydowns and just slow reel and just let them blades kick. And if there was a big shad kill, there was a lot of shad just dying, slowing around dying. The fish were fat and there was easy meals for them. This just did a really good job of maybe imitating those shad that were slowly moving along, easy to eat.
That fish wasn't dirt shallow. See where that one was at?
Yeah. That ended up being a big player for everybody in the tournament that did well. The other bait you saw me throw quite a bit was just a little Rapala number 5 shad wrap. I had a couple different colors on. I had one that was kind of red, and then I had this kind of natural crawfish color here.
There he is.
I was throwing it on an 8-pound fluorocarbon. I had 2 different spinning rods out. One was a Helium 3 7-foot medium. This is a Kistler KLX 7-foot medium light. I had, again, it's really light rod, really fast action. This is basically my drop shot rod or my crappie rods. You've got little bitty treble hooks on this thing. You can't horse those fish. You need your drag set light. Just let them buzz around or else you'll pull them hooks out. So just be real careful, fight them real slow and get on the boat. And even then when they shake, they'll come off. So you can always change the hooks on these, get some hooks you got more confidence in. Remember to always put your treble hook baits in your Calcoast bait sacks. It's the easiest way to keep your treble hooks from hooking into things. You just drop it in, you can clip your line around the back, and then you just clip that to your blank. I give them to people in my boat, that way they don't get their treble hooks hooked in my seat. It's just an awesome thing by Calcoast, and they're cheap, so just stock up on them. They got 3 different sizes. This is a small one. They got a big one for jerk baits, and they got great big ones for Alabama rigs or giant swim baits. So go check those out. Guys, those are the 3 baits that I used. I tried different things. Lord knows I've tried different things, but those are the 3 baits that caught fish for me. We ended up having 4 fish on day 2, but just sucked it up pretty bad on day 1 with 1 fish that weighed 3 pounds 9 ounces. So we stayed out of the hundreds. I think we finished 94th, which is still pretty crappy, but there's a bunch of guys worse than that would have been happy with that. We were in 35th in points in Angler of the Year. We fell to 50th, which isn't awful. Again, we need to be in that top 40. So we got 3 events left, and literally I need to take this all down, break everything off, and re-rig because I'm leaving in 2 days for Lake Cherokee. Never been there before. I'm excited about it. It's got smallmouth. It's got largemouth. You can chase whatever you want. You're going to have a mixed bag. I think we're going to hit that one perfect. I've been looking at the weather. It's been in the 70s, or it's starting a couple days ago. It's going to stay in the 70s. There's going to be rain, which who cares? Every event we get rained on. That's just part of it. But I think we're going to hit that one good. I think there's going to be giant bags caught in that thing. I think you're going to see just a lot of good limits come in. I've never been there. I'm excited about it. You know I love chasing them brown ones, so it's going to be hard to not chase them brown ones, but I really think a guy's going to have to chase largemouth to win. But I think smallmouth are going to come into play. Just got that feeling. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Please hit like, please hit subscribe, and turn on that little bell. It notifies you when I submit a post or submit a video. Always make comments. Tell me if you hate me, like me, love me, you want me to do different things. give me some feedback. Let me know what you're looking for. I've been trying to work hard at making my videos better, and I hope you guys can see that. I've been partnering with a young kid named Alec. He's been showing me some tricks too, so thanks, Alec. And let's get to Cherokee and let's get this work done. Let's make our first Forge Wood Cup, please.